Hello YouTube, it's your girl Anna back here for her Journey to the End, episode 10. It has been quite a while since I last did an episode, and you will notice that this is, my smiling face is not in the top corner. Um, the vacation went really well with the family, but there has been a lot of other stuff going on in my life that has exceptionally stressed me out, worn me down to the point where there's a reason this is about 2 weeks later than I would like. And that is because, well, yeah, I've just had some rough times. So I finally decided that as much as I wanted to do a video, I'm just going to do audio for this week's episode and get it done, because otherwise I'm just going to keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. So, as you can see from the signs behind me, I have accomplished quite a lot. I've tamed 5 wolves, I've built a raid farm, and collected several totems of Undying, and I will show that off towards the end of the intro. I have collected some phantom skins. I have finally built my kelp farm. I have earned my Float Your Goat achievement. And yeah, I've actually pretty much gotten Expand the Base just about done, as well as map the area. There's not a whole lot left of the area that I still need to map. I do not have much luck with the Librarian with Mending. I still have some that I need to work on their final trades that might have books. And I'm going through there hoping I can get Mending. I don't know if I don't get it from this batch of Librarians if I'm going to bother spawning more in and seeing if I can reach it that way. At this point I have quite a few books of mending, from fishing to get levels for improving other gear, that I don't know, I may or may not get it. I think I probably have enough mending books right now to get me by. We'll show you some of the expanded base now. So as you can see, I have changed my old furnace room more into a kitchen. This was actually the intended design in the first place. I've moved all of my food chests in here, and I have a little campfire stove. I kind of really like that design. Has become the default. I've got my little sink here. Also, that's kind of a default design. I went with cobbled deep slate fences as my chimneys to kind of lead the smoke out of here. I really liked that idea. I thought it was pretty cool. And this makes it feel a lot homier here. I may decide to put some tables and chairs in here. I've been holding off because this has been my sign room. I may decide to move this for the last episode and put it, say, in the library. Speaking of the library, from my various explorations, you can see I have now completed this region with Crying Obsidian. Quite happy with that. I actually also had to add another chest for magical books. My potions chest has been pretty good, and I've got most of the potions that I need. I've got slow falling, I've got potions of healing, of instant health. I do have some of fire resistance. These are from the raid farm, since my sword sets the witches on fire, but 2 hits kills them. Usually they've got a potion of fire resistance out when I finally slay them. So, we have, I think that was already there last time, we now have a complete set of entirely enchanted, to my preference, netherite armor. So that part is ready for the end. We have a sugarcane farm now. I'm quite happy with how this one turned out, and it seems to be producing pretty well. My kelp farm has not been working quite as well. So this is all the growth I've had up to here, and admittedly that is quite a lot of growth of kelp, but since my observers are up there, I've yet to get 1 harvest's worth of kelp. So I may go back through and redesign this and make it shorter. I also may look into, I think I've got sand down there right now. I might try dirt and see if that helps the kelp grow better. You can see I've got 11 sugar cane in there from that, just from the last time I harvested it. probably the happiest thing I am with the expansion of my base is my Mystic Garden. Originally I was going to do this above ground, but I have since decided to do it underground. I have one azalea tree, a couple of flowering azalea bushes, regular azalea bushes. I have my lily pads here. I've got a little beehive in the corner with a wealth of flowers for the bees to do. And I'm very happy with the stalactites. They've gone very well. It's kind of weird that this one is growing more from the bottom than the top, but it is what it is. I'll be very happy if those connect and kind of fill in. I also have all of these crystals hanging around the sides with the amethyst. Very happy with that. I like how those turned out. Overall, very excited. Now, I will say this was a bit of an experiment that I did to see. So there's running water above here. So this block here has the source block in it. This block does not. Yeah, this one has not grown at all. But this one has grown quite a bit. So I think it mentions that it needs to be a water source block in the wiki. But this was kind of I wanted to see for myself. It does need to be a water source block for all of those watching this. And yeah, that is our base so far. I will show you where I moved all of the furnaces from my old furnace room. So I now have this furnace set up over here, which actually earned me the achievement of smelt all the things. I was quite happy about that. Apparently all three of them didn't need to be feeding into the furnace. Having one feeding items in, one feeding fuel in, and one sending the items to another chest counted as connecting 3 chests and 3 hoppers to a furnace. The other 4 furnaces that I had in the corner are over here. They have not actually seen much use since moving stuff down here, because I haven't done as much resource gathering. And then the last thing that I am going to show you, because you will see how the Wraith Tower operates during this, is my raid farm. And I will take you guys through a quick jaunt through the end to show you that. So we're going to cut after I get to the other side, because you don't need to see running through a bunch of tunnels in the end. Here we go. And with a quick journey through the end, we are at the raid farm. So I'm quite happy with how this has turned out. It's a little bit more dangerous than some of the other versions of this that I've seen. As you can see, there are just half blocks around my platform of hoppers, where I collect all of the goodies, and you'll see some of them in here. So there's just this platform around the goodies, or for the hoppers, and witches can still drop their potions on you. And that's kind of the biggest issue that I've had. I haven't had an issue really with getting hit with the crossbows, but the witch's potions are still a problem. For the most part, I can stand kind of back here on these beds and whack a witch to get them. But I ended up going with this route here because the illagers were just not coming down. So I created this kind of area where I can kind of run around and taunt them. They'll get a visual on me and then come down into the kill chamber. We're going to go up now, and we will show you the top. So in the center is my village. There's one farmer villager in there with a bed, and that counts enough for it to trigger the raid. We have a lava trap around here to take care of the Ravagers. I really don't need any more saddles, so there's nothing really that the Ravagers can give me other than XP, and yeah, I'm just not worried about that. So, I do have still one problem with this design, which is that I do occasionally have illagers spawning on top of the glass. I'm probably going to put some half slabs up there and see if that takes care of the problem at a later date, but more for a future use of this particular design, because as you can see from all of the Illager banners over here, this is one for each captain that I have triggered a raid with. Yeah, I've got enough totems of undying for right now. Quite happy with how this is turning out. I've gotten a lot of other goodies, several of the potions of regeneration that I will be needing for fighting the Ender Dragon, as well as some other goodies. The end of the recap video, you are going to see me taking on and utilizing this raid farm with my daughter, who wanted some of the achievements, mainly the Vex Wings from killing an Evoker. So I invited her onto this world so that she could earn those achievements in a safe manner, so to speak. Maybe cheating a little, but she's 8, so I'm willing to let her cheat a little bit to get something that she would like. So, with our intro done, let us move on to this week's recap. Okay, so this week we did a lot of exploration. One of the things was I found one of the kind of structures that I had not encountered before. I was hoping that I was going to find one that had kind of the trap underneath. I thought that'd be kind of cool. But this one did not have that. It was pretty empty. So, it was kind of fun to locate this little area here. And I looted it for a little bit of stuff. I think I actually found this while I was on my way to build my raid farm based off of the number of items that I had in my inventory. Played around with trying to see if it was a trap or whatever, before finally looking at the wiki and realizing which of the carpets it was hidden under. So, as I said, this one was kind of empty. It is what it is. I did find another one over by the tower where I ended up building my raid farm. Once again, did not have the structure there. To date, I have yet to find one that does. But, so I set up the raid farm that you saw in the intro, and then moved on to getting Bad Omen. And this was my first time getting Bad Omen for that. And I headed out to my raid farm. You'll notice this is the early time frame. I did not yet have the fences around. I realized I needed those after the first kind of test run that this was. And this was the first iteration. As you can see, there is still the chest there. And it worked pretty well. I collected quite a bit. I did finish this raid, but I had to make a lot of trips up top as I did this one. And that made me decide that it needed some redesign. So that's how it became kind of the version that you saw before. I'm actually much happier with how that version goes. As you can see, here I am waiting for this last one to kind of drop down. And finally, I decided to go up, see where he went, and he was just hanging out over here. Throwing out some of the crossbows that I don't really need, and then I headed back down for the next iteration. The other thing for me was, it was really annoying dealing with the chest, and the number of times that I started to hit the chest instead of the mobs was, it was very frustrating. So all told, yes, it's a much safer version, but I'm not terribly happy with it. So if you're willing to deal with the risk, the half slabs might be a better route. And it's been a while since I cut this, so I thought I'd cut it kind of earlier instead of showing the entire raid, but apparently I did show the entire raid on this one. So that said, you will get the ability to see both the original version and my modified version run through on this, because at the end of my cut, I know I have the raid that I did with my daughter. And you can hear the Ravager slaying himself on the lava up there. Kind of. Apparently he did not quite kill himself off. And I had to go up to get the last couple of mobs anyways. Once again, this is why I decided to redo how this was and went with the slabs instead. Much happier with the slab version of this. That's an interesting note. That gentleman down there ended up in the end. And when they go to, or not the end, the nether, and when they go to the nether, they no longer count as being part of the raid. That was kind of interesting, and when I went and did the journey home after this, I had to take them out. Oh, nope, he didn't turn out and go to the nether because I had not yet built the nether portal. So I actually have no idea where that villager that fell down the hole went. I did have that happen on a later run through, where I did have an illager fall down and kind of end up in the nether. This here should be the last iteration. And there we go, with the Ravagers kind of killing themselves off. And there is the Evoker, who gets one decent hit off. As he got two. And the last Johnny. And with that, the raid was done. As you can see, I got my first totem while dying. After that, we built our Phantom Farm, and this worked out pretty good. It is a tall tower outside of my village, where I have some webs. Yep, I need your delicious skins. Delicious? Well, I mean, they make potions of feather falling, so. Yep. Yeah, I don't know how delicious phantom skins are, but I do love the effect of feather falling. And, yep, I'd very much like that.
So, Thai LARP guy uses minced chicken, lime juice, and fresh herbs. Most notably beans.
So, as you can hear, my wife was in the background giving a bit of conversation about one of our upcoming meals. This was the only downside to it, is that occasionally they'd kind of come through and manage to hit me, and I could not find them. They were not quite stuck in the webs like they should be. I don't know why that happened, and every time it happened, I'd have this weird glob that would kind of be hanging out, so I think that may just be a glitch. But overall, it's a pretty decent way of getting phantom skins. If you need to, repair your elytra, or uh, get some
Pumpkin curry.
potions for feather falling. You can hear the little jingle jangle of Flip also in the background.
You would like Thai pumpkin curry?
Oh,
You would really like Thai
I guess my
pumpkin
daughter
curry?
is deciding. I did not catch that the first time around, probably because I was busy trying to pay attention to listen for phantoms. But now I've got a new food to have my daughter try. Thai pumpkin curry. I'll have to give that a shot and see how it turns out, because that actually sounds pretty good myself. So we did one night worth of collecting phantom skins, and as you can see, I've already got 7 now. I think I ended up with 10 when it was all said and done. I found this particular design through one of Sigil's videos, and I liked how it turned out. It seemed like it worked pretty well for him. I may decide on changing up that roof structure, though, and put something up there to prevent them from kind of being able to fly in through there. Because watching this playthrough, I think I figured out that's how they were getting to me. There's 10. So, this was a very successful contraption. I did do it in the same aesthetic as the town, with the exception of the, nets that are at the top. I may potentially actually raise, because as you'll see, this is taller than my light tower. I may raise my light tower up to this height. After that, we did some hunting for netherite. Needed that for a full suit of netherite armor. And I had quite a bit of luck, kind of just digging through the nether at level 15, which seems to be my hotspot for netherite. Here was a cluster of 3. After we got done finding all of the netherite that we needed, we went out and explored more of the overworld. I managed to find a jungle while I was out riding with Quixote. I collected some bamboo, some jungle trees, some jungle wood, leaves, some vines, and overall had a pretty good time. I even happened upon, and I think cutting for it is going to come up soon. Oh, there's a little baby panda. Oh, I'd forgotten that's why I let this one go this long, is because I had never seen a baby panda before. And there it is rolling. It's just so adorable. After the panda, I managed to find a parrot. So this parrot's name is Lucky, because Lucky ended up missing on my way back. Like, just didn't spawn. So, or follow, I guess. Probably he was in the water, and I have named Lucky a he. Actually, I think both of my parrots are he's. And I really wanted to have a parrot, so when I came back to this region, which I think you will see soon, I got another parrot that looked like Lucky, and named that one Rodrigo. And Rodrigo and Lucky, because on the way back, Lucky showed up again. That's why Lucky is named Lucky. It's kind of frustrating dealing with the parrot. I've determined that parrots are probably one of the more frustrating mobs to keep as a pet. They're fun when they're on your shoulder, but when they leave, it's kind of weird. after finding Lucky the parrot, we encountered a jungle temple sitting in the middle of this lake. This was actually a pretty awesome layout for this jungle temple. I have encountered these before, but I've never encountered one in a little like lake pond area. That was a lot of fun. So we went through, we built a fence post, which we now keep in the storage chest on Quixote. And I think I then went, nope, I already had the stuff to build a lead. So we built a lead, and we tied Quixote off as I went to go wander through the temple. And this is something I usually do when I go out, is I will have a fence post and a lead, so that if there's somewhere I want to go off and explore, I don't want my steed to wander off too far, I can tether them off, and it's a little bit safer for them. That way I don't have to worry about them despawning if they go across a chunk border while I'm not there. So we went through and we lit up this jungle temple. Did our best to not set off all of the traps. Unfortunately, while the jungle temple was kind of cool, it didn't have a whole lot. There was just some iron ingots and some gold ingots, and that was pretty much it. No magic books, no magic armor, just some ingots, and that was about it. I was kind of curious where the spider was at. I attempted to do the kind of trick with the levers. I thought I had it down. I did not to begin with, so it took 2 iterations, and you'll see here, yep, I got 2 gold ingots and some iron ingots, and the ingots from before were already in there. After that, I was headed home, and I decided to explore a little bit more, and I found like a almost perfectly intact ship. This was pretty cool. This is actually at about the point where I ended up losing Lucky, was actually on returning from this ship. I will eventually have to come back here because I realized as I was cutting this video that yes, I grabbed the chest down here at the bottom, but I think there's probably a chest up top that I had not grabbed. Yeah. So I didn't actually loot any of the treasure from here, and then because this was such an awesome find, I actually put the ship back into its original kind of design, which required a little bit of renegotiating some things. And I may actually go out and take a look at this and rebuild it. Oh, well, I was not aware. So, we have our getting our float our goat achievement here. This was on the way back. I had already collected some of my wolves at this point. And we rode around for a little while until we got the little ding. I still haven't figured out how to put it so that the achievements show up in the top corner. I don't know if there is another window that I've got to add to my recording software to do that. But, yep, we got that. So, this is basically the next raid utilizing my modified raid plan. And this should be the one that I conducted with my daughter. Yep, there she is. Sapphire B. and tackled this raid. This was actually kind of a lot of fun to share this experience with my daughter. You can see here I am trying to anger this guy and get him to come down here. I think this one might actually be hiding out on top, where I said that they will sometimes spawn. Oh, nope, there he is. He's coming down now. And she is wearing some of the iron armor from the chest already. She did put it back so that I will have access to that as I see fit. I may decide to swap out the iron armor that is in my entranceway with some that is enchanted iron armor, because that would be kind of a neat flex to have a whole bunch of magic armor on display. We will see how we decide on that. I might have to do the raid a couple more times to get a complete suit, but yeah, it's been fun so far. She very much enjoyed this. I kind of wish that I'd had the voice recording up so you could kind of hear our commentary on this. I let her do as much of the killing as I could, though I helped her out some just to speed the effect along. That, and I have looting 3 on my sword, and she did not, so that helped out quite a bit too. Got better drops when I was the one that killed them. I do think at some point in time there was one of these that the individual was stuck on top, so that you guys will be able to see that. Yep, this would be it here. So I went up to go see what was going on, was looking around for the guy, he's not there, and I get hit with an arrow. Why? Oh, because he's up there. This was my first time noticing this, and he got knocked down and died. So as you can see, this one, I've not had to go up as often since changing this design, other than when they get stuck at the top. Occasionally, I think I'll end up going up again one more time during this iteration, just to kind of trigger the bad guys to make their way down, because for whatever reason they didn't really want to. Yep, we still had the 2 mobs remaining. And this is where I tried to trick them into and this was a fun little bit as I go back down the hole, and I'd left my daughter was in full iron armor and wind character, and she decided to change to her wolf girl and decided wolf girl did not need any armor. And here we stood back to avoid the potions, and we took on the witches. She also moved all of my torches, which I realized after the fact, which was very annoying. torches in this. Put the torches on the first layer, as you're about ready to see me put the torches back. Because if you put them up on the second layer, you will sometimes whack them as you are going through and conducting the raid. And this was our last guy here. This one, and the next one was the evoker. And I mostly stood in the back on this one. I didn't do a whole lot of killing, because I wanted her to be the one to take the evoker. She decided that the evoker was worth putting her armor back on, even though she was Wolf Girl. Probably a good bet, because the evoker can still attack us down here at the bottom. I do need to figure something out to trigger these guys to kind of come more towards the kill platform. Something that'll get them to come in. I haven't quite figured out what I want to do for that yet, but... me trying to anger the evoker to get the evoker to come down. It did work on the juggernauts at least. And there is the evoker, and I kind of stood back and let her get the kill completely. That finished up this week. Welcome back, all. Well, there was a bit of a glitch, and I had set up to do this video and actually had recorded this video of me swapping out all of these signs. And then after I got done with it, I realized I went to go stop the recording. I realized that the recording had not started. So we are going to kind of discuss some of what I'd already discussed. Again, one of these days I will get much better about hitting that record button, but until then, we'll just deal with the repercussions of it. So, I have removed all of the things that I have accomplished: the kill 5 wolves, float your goat achievement, the kelp farm, the raid farm, harvesting the totems of undying, and let's see, what was the last one? Collect phantom skins, because I've done all of those things. I put back up kill the ender dragon. And apparently I have a zoglin hiding in my base somewhere. We'll have to deal with that here in a little bit. So, you will notice that Find the Stronghold is not up there. And, well, there's a reason for that. You will also notice that I was kind of purposefully avoiding showing the map when I went into the library. Well, that's because the stronghold has already been found, and you will see that in next week's episode, because it was after I had cut off what I was going to do for the recordings for this one that event occurred. But before me actually recording the intros and exits for this episode. So, thank you for joining me for episode 10. It has been fun sharing this journey with you all. And if you like what you've seen so far, please hit that like button and subscribe if you are not already. It helps me build the channel. And while I will continue to make these, even though I have a very small following, just to slowly build it and to put myself out there, also it is helping some with me practicing my voice and utilizing it more often in the rest of my life. So I will continue doing these. I will probably have episode 11 be the last of the prep to fight the Ender Dragon, and episode 12 will be that fight. So the next one is mostly going to be mapping the area, expanding the base, and it will be showing you guys the event that occurred as I was going out previously. And that is all for now. Thank you for watching, and you all have an excellent day.